In a peaceful village called Umoma, there lived a successful businessman named Daniel. Daniel owned a large provision store in the center of the village. He had a beautiful house, a thriving business, and two wonderful children. But the person everyone admired most in his home was his first wife, Amara. Amara was a gentle woman. She was kind, patient, respectful, and generous. Whenever a neighbor was hungry, Amara shared her food. Whenever someone's child needed help with schoolwork, she helped. And whenever someone was sick, she was usually the first person at their door. Daniel often told people, "My wife has a heart of gold." And he meant it. For 8 years, Daniel and Amara lived peacefully together. Their home wasn't perfect. They had disagreements like every other couple, but there was love, there was trust, and there was peace, until Daniel made a decision that changed everything. He married a second wife. Her name was Bridget. Bridget was beautiful. She was confident. She dressed in expensive clothes and loved attention. When she first entered Daniel's home, she smiled at everyone. Amara welcomed her warmly. She even prepared a special meal for her. "Welcome to the family," Amara said. Bridget smiled. "Thank you." But behind that smile was something Amara couldn't see: jealousy. Bridget had already heard about Amara. She had heard that Daniel trusted his first wife. She had heard that the villagers loved her. She had heard that Amara helped manage parts of Daniel's business. And Bridget didn't like it. She didn't want to share Daniel's attention. She wanted all of it. She didn't want to be the second wife. She wanted to become the only wife. At first, Bridget behaved perfectly. Whenever Daniel was around, she was sweet. She laughed at his jokes. She prepared his favorite meals. She called Amara sister, but whenever Daniel left the house, her behavior changed. One morning, Amara was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Bridget walked in. "Why are you always cooking for Daniel?" Amara looked confused. "I'm preparing breakfast for everyone." Bridget folded her arms. "You always want to look like the perfect wife." Amara sighed. "I don't understand what you mean." "You understand perfectly." Amara decided not to argue. She continued cooking. But Bridget wasn't finished. She watched Amara carefully. She was looking for a weakness. And eventually, she found one. Daniel trusted Amara with the money from his business. Whenever he traveled, Amara helped pay workers and suppliers. Bridget noticed this. One afternoon, Daniel gave Amara a large amount of money to pay his workers. Bridget saw it. That night, she approached Daniel privately. "Daniel, what is it?" "I don't want to cause trouble." Daniel looked at her. "Then what is it?" Bridget lowered her voice. "I think Amara is wasting your money." Daniel frowned. "What makes you say that?" "I see her giving money to people all the time." Daniel shook his head. "She helps people." "That's what she wants you to believe." Daniel became quiet. Bridget smiled secretly. She had planted the first seed of doubt. A few weeks later, she planted another. One morning, money disappeared from Daniel's shop. Daniel searched everywhere. He couldn't find it. Then Bridget said, "Maybe you should ask Amara." Daniel looked at her. "Why?" "I saw her near the office yesterday." Amara was called. Daniel looked at her seriously. "Did you take money from the shop?" Amara was shocked. "No." "Bridget said she saw you." Amara turned toward Bridget. "Why would you say that?" Bridget looked away. "I only told him what I saw." Amara's eyes filled with tears. "I would never steal from my husband." Daniel didn't know what to believe, and that was exactly what Bridget wanted. She wanted doubt, because once trust disappears, everything becomes easier to destroy. Days passed. Bridget started spreading rumors around the village. She told Daniel's relatives, "Amara thinks she's better than everyone." She told the neighbors, "Amara doesn't want me in this house." She even told people, "She secretly wishes something bad would happen to me." None of it was true, but Bridget repeated the lies so many times that people started believing them. Amara noticed the change. Neighbors who once greeted her warmly began avoiding her. Relatives whispered when she walked past. Even Daniel became quieter. One evening, Amara sat alone outside her house. She wiped tears from her face. Her heart was breaking, but she refused to fight. She told herself, "One day the truth will speak." Meanwhile, Bridget was celebrating. She thought she was winning. Daniel was slowly losing trust in Amara. The villagers were beginning to turn against her. Everything seemed to be going according to plan. But Bridget became greedy. She didn't just want Daniel's love. She wanted his money, his business, his property, everything. So she made her biggest mistake. She began stealing from Daniel's business. Small amounts at first, then larger amounts. She used the money to buy expensive clothes, jewelry, shoes, handbags, and things she didn't need. Whenever money disappeared, she blamed Amara. Daniel became increasingly suspicious of his first wife. But there was one thing Bridget didn't know. Daniel's accountant had started keeping detailed financial records. One morning, the accountant noticed something strange. Several large transactions had been made from the business account. The money had gone to a private account. The account belonged to Bridget. The accountant immediately informed Daniel. Daniel couldn't believe it. He checked the records himself. The evidence was clear. Money had been disappearing for months, and Bridget was responsible. Daniel's heart sank. He remembered every accusation he had made against Amara, every argument, every time he had doubted her. He suddenly realized he had been blaming the wrong person. That evening, Daniel confronted Bridget. "Where did the money go?" Bridget froze. "What money?" "The money from my business." "I don't know what you're talking about." Daniel placed the financial records on the table. "Then explain this." Bridget stared at the documents. Her face changed. Daniel's voice became cold. "Why is my money going into your private account?" Bridget couldn't answer. "Tell me the truth." Silence. "Tell me," Bridget finally broke down. She confessed. She had been stealing the money. She had lied about Amara. She had spread rumors. She had deliberately tried to destroy the relationship between Daniel and his first wife. But Daniel wasn't finished. He discovered something even worse. Bridget had been planning to convince Daniel to transfer some of his properties into her name. Her plan had been simple. Destroy Amara's reputation. Make Daniel stop trusting her. Take control of the business. Then take everything. But instead, her own lies had exposed her. Daniel was devastated. He walked into the room where Amara was sitting. She looked at him. He couldn't even look her in the eyes. "I'm sorry." Amara remained silent. "I accused you of things you never did." She looked down. "You believed her." "I did." "You stopped trusting me." "I know." Tears filled Daniel's eyes. "I was wrong." Amara had suffered enough, but she wasn't interested in revenge. She simply said, "I told you the truth from the beginning." Daniel nodded. "I know." Across the house, Bridget sat alone. For the first time, she understood what her jealousy had done. She had wanted Amara's position. She had wanted Amara's respect. She had wanted Amara's relationship with Daniel. But instead, she had lost everyone's trust. She had damaged the business. She had destroyed the peace of the family, and she had turned herself into someone she no longer recognized. A few days later, Bridget approached Amara. She stood at the doorway with tears in her eyes. "I know you don't want to see me." Amara looked at her. "Why are you here?" "I want to apologize." Amara remained quiet. Bridget began crying. "I was jealous of you." "Why?" "Because everyone loved you." She wiped her tears. "Daniel trusted you. The neighbors respected you. Even the children loved you." She lowered her head. "I wanted everything you had." Amara sighed. "You didn't need to destroy me to become a better person." "I know. You could have learned from me." Bridget began crying harder. "But I was too jealous." Amara looked at her for a long moment. Then she said, "Jealousy makes you fight battles that don't belong to you." Bridget nodded. "I know that now." From that day forward, Bridget began changing. She became more humble. She stopped comparing herself to Amara. She started helping around the community. And slowly, people began seeing a different woman. Daniel rebuilt his business. He also apologized publicly to Amara for allowing jealousy and lies to come between them. And Amara? She remained the same woman she had always been, kind, patient, and generous. One afternoon, Amara was helping children in the neighborhood with their schoolwork. Bridget watched from a distance. She smiled. She finally understood something. Amara's greatest possession had never been Daniel. It had never been money. It had never been the house. It had been her character. something jealousy could never steal. And that became the lesson everyone in the village remembered. You can lie about a good person. You can try to destroy their reputation. You can even make people doubt them. But you cannot hide the truth forever, because eventually, wickedness exposes itself. Bridget wanted Amara to lose everything. Instead, she lost the trust she wanted so badly. And Amara never had to fight for revenge. Because sometimes, the truth fights for you. Please like and subscribe for more. See you next time.